Hello everyone, this is Venom, and today we've got another Destiny 2 video because it's a day that ends in Y, so there is another Destiny controversy. Now, right now, there is a bit of a controversy, or a bit of a kerfuffle, I like the word kerfuffle, over the seasonal storyline for Season of the Remnant. What's happened is that Bungie went ahead and gave us the entire Act 1 in the first week. We can complete the entire thing, and it turns out the entire Act 1 could be done in about an hour. In fact, I finished it on accident and didn't realize that there wasn't any more to go. Like, I thought we had plenty more steps to go. I was finished. I was like, what the hell is going on? So, I'm not talking about all the potions and tonics. That's separate. But, yeah, the actual story portion of it was done in about less than an hour. And people are a little up in arms, and the age-old debate is popping up in the chats again. Whether it be seasonal activities back when we had seasons, or whether it be now that we've got acts, it's the same question. I mean, should we spread out the content or give it all at once? And right now, people are freaking out, saying, hey, I told you, if we gave you everything in one shot, you'd be done and bored in a week. That's kind of a red herring, because the way I put it is this. It's like giving somebody 3 M&Ms and saying, hey, do you want these 3 M&Ms all at once and then you wait 6 weeks for 3 more? Or do you want to spread these 3 M&Ms out over 3 weeks and then make you wait 3 more weeks for them? The answer is we need more M&Ms. Give us a bag of M&Ms. So right now there's just not enough content, and what has happened is that all this content being out in 1 week has really shown people that there's just not that much content. It doesn't matter if you're casual or if you're a hardcore streamer, there's just not that much content. I mean, this is definitely a casual level of content. It doesn't matter if you've got a full-time job, you'd be done with basically all 3 acts in a day. And I've seen comparisons to other seasons as far as how much content there is. I've seen people talking about them having removed the filler. First off, I want to talk about the actual content that was set up. If one of the steps for the quest is to talk to a hologram, even though the person is standing right next to you, that is bad. There's one point, I think, where you have to talk to a hologram of Ido, even though she's literally standing right next to you. That right there tells me one of 2 things before I even go into what I think the solution for all this is. That tells me that I don't think the people who are setting up these quest steps or the designers, I think these teams aren't really collaborating. Because I can't think of any reason in somebody's right mind that they would have you talk to a hologram versus a person standing right next to you. That tells me that something about these seasons or these designs are disjointed, that there's maybe multiple teams working on them, and when it comes together, you get goofy shit like this. But that's another argument. What I do want to say is this. There's always somebody saying, well, Bungie can't make that much content. You can't put out like a whole expansion every few months. They don't have to. They could do a lot with what they've got already. Well, of course, there's going to be someone who says, well, what would you do? You're not a designer. You can't do this. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not a coder. I don't know how to code. But I can tell you how Bungie could use what they've already got to spread out all this and make it a lot more fun. And here's how they could have done this. And this is just an example for this one, but and again, before I go into it, I just want to say this. The question is not whether it should be spread out over the entire act or whether it should be given to us all at once. We need more content. Bungie's got to get a little bit more creative in how they do this. So how would I fix Season of the Remnant? Well, we know that coming in Act 2, we've got the reprised Prison of Elders. What they should have done is given us Prison of Elders in Act 1. In Act 2, you give us the Master Prison of Elders. And then in Act 3, if they want to get spicy, give us a Grandmaster Prison of Elders. That would be awesome. Give us some adaptive weapons, maybe some artifice armor. That could be pretty damn cool. Don't make it tied to the seasonal emblem or anything. Just go ahead and make that one for the super in-game players. But yeah, do that. Now, what you do is you make it to where the armor and the potion ingredients drop in the Prison of Elders. And then you actually make the seasonal armor useful. You set it up to where once you've got 4 pieces of seasonal armor, that will then unlock different cages out around in the world that you can go and rescue Elixir. The whole point of this season is to, rescue Elixir before Fickle can get to him. Set it up to where if you've got on 4 pieces of armor, then when you go through a lost sector, the final boss, instead of a final boss spawning, the cage spawns along with that final boss, and, it changes depending on the armor you got on. Now, you have made the seasonal armor useful, and you use what you've already got out in the world. We've already got the cages for the Elixir. We've already got the bosses. All you're doing is tossing the cages at the end with the bosses, and we've already got the lost sectors. So now you set it up to where you can use every lost sector you've currently got in the game, toss a cage there, and you make the armor useful, a reason for us to grind for it. You've given us an actual grind to do, and we don't got to worry about us going through all the content in like a day. Now, will there still be people that can get through all the lost sectors in like a day? Yeah, more likely, but for the most part, most people aren't going to do that. Now you set it up for set it up to where for the story you got to go through every single lost sector and get every single cage, rescue them all, and then what you can also do is set up the public event. You make a public event, just a single public event that can pop up anywhere, and make it to where we have a community challenge again. Set it up to where if we do so many public events, not super hard ones, mind you, because people kind of got pissed off about that, but make public events to where we rescue Elixir, and that progresses so much progress on the cure for Mithrax. You know, the Act 1 cure for Mithrax. You know, we rescue like a million Elixir, and, you know, that gets us to where we need for Act 2, you know, something like that. It gets people engaged. It uses the armors that we are grinding for, because right now, let's face it, outside of just breaking them down, for cosmetic reasons, there's really no reason to use the season armor for the most part for any season. Yeah, it gives us a reason to use the armor to go after him. It lets you utilize the new event, the Prisoner Builders, for all 3 acts, not just a couple of them. It gives us a lot more stuff to do in game, going out and doing Lost Sectors, something that we, for the most part, don't do that much anymore unless we're trying to farm Ingrams. And since we don't get the seasonal exotics from them anyway, it doesn't really matter. I've got no reason to go after those. Yeah, I think doing that would be a much better way to utilize what they've got already. Now, as far as all the quest steps and everything, okay, yeah, they could tweak that a little bit. I don't know what all quest steps and cutscenes are going to have. I personally don't have an issue with any of the cutscenes, but it's the fact that all the cutscenes and what we currently got lasted less than an hour. That's an issue. So I think Bungie could very much utilize what they've got a lot better than they are. They just aren't doing so. And this is just something I came off with at the top of my head when I was doing dishes upstairs. I think they can do a lot better. And like I said, seeing how the quest steps were set up, I mean, talking to Ida when she's right there, I really think that the teams are also disjointed too. I think there might need to be some restructuring in Bungie as far as how some of these stories are set up and how some of these quests are set up. Because I really do think these teams are disjointed. I don't think they're communicating that well. I'm not sure how the play testers or the people testing this out, like what they're thinking, but I mean, how does that get by you? And then, again, I get that there's always been a debate about whether or not the content should come out all at once or, you know, spread out throughout the season. I'm an advocate for letting it all come out at once, but when you let it all come out once and it lasts less than an hour, it really shows and kind of exposes how little content there actually was there to begin with. Now, if we're going on this same path, that means that if each act has only got about an hour's worth of content for that act, that means that for all of the Revenant Act, we've only got 3 hours of content for the entire season. That's not good. That is not a very good look. Now, of course, we got the new Onslaught missions. They're new, but it's still Onslaught. It's Onslaught with a cage added into it. It's fine, but it's not really new. I still think it was a real letdown they didn't release Prison of Elders, because that was a fanfare for Destiny 1. Coming back to Destiny 2, I really wish they'd come out with it from the get-go. Having to wait 5 more weeks to play that kind of sucks. I thought they would come out with that right away, but they didn't. Yeah, I think what Bungie's got has just been mismanaged, and I think we've seen that we know that the executives done that too, but I think the creative team too is also mismanaging things. I think they've gotten used to doing a lot of BS filler and crap, and then when they put it all together, I think this is honestly just kind of embarrassing for Bungie when they see all your entire act, the 30-year season, was done in less than an hour. Again, I finished it, and I didn't realize that the act was done. Like, that's bad. When there should be some kind of finale, something that tells me, hey, the act is actually done, and it was just, it's done. So that's not good. So that's just my thoughts on the current season. Now, there is, of course, the Destiny Rising. It came out with a preview for it today. I doubt I ever play Destiny Rising. If I do, it's going to be, I'm never going to pay, if it's free to play, I'm never going to put any money into it. I will say this. There are definitely some things in Destiny Rising that I wish were in Destiny 2. For example, I think one of the things I saw there that really got my attention, there was a Warlock that had a scythe. I love scythe weapons. I was hoping we would get a scythe weapon in Destiny at some point, like even if it was a glade with a scythe. When we got the that little scythe artifact during Season of the Haunted, I was hoping that would turn into like a permanent weapon or something. But that Warlock had a void scythe, and it looked friggin' amazing. I really wish that some of the stuff that we saw in Destiny Rising we actually get to the game. They had like a crossbow, they had a scythe. So yeah, hopefully we get some of that stuff in game. I highly doubt it. But yeah, we'll see. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about Remnant down in the comments below. Please leave a like on the video if you like what we're doing. Please sub to the channel if you love what we're doing, and I will see you on the next video.